One of the topics that you'll study in first year of ancient classics at the University of Galway is the ancient Greek city. And we do this by making a case study of Athens in the 5th and 4th centuries BC. In ancient times, there was no single country or nation called Greece. Rather, the Greek world was made up of more than 1,000 small independent city-states, and Athens was just one of these. The reason we base our case study on Athens is because it is the best documented of all the Greek city-states, so we know more about it than the others. And this is an outline of the topics that we'll be covering in this short presentation. Our story begins in the last decade of the 6th century BC, when Athens had overthrown its leadership, and after a short power struggle, the Athenians established what is commonly referred to as the world's first democracy. The word itself derives from two Greek words: demos, means the people, and kratos, that means power. And democracy is considered to be one of the great legacies of antiquity to the modern Western world. In some ways, the Athenian democracy was far more democratic than our own. After all, we elect representatives every year, every 5 years or so, to go to make decisions for us. Whereas at ancient Athens, every citizen could attend the assembly to debate and vote on the issues of the day. Theirs was a system of direct participation. But in other ways, we would scarcely recognize Athens as a democracy at all. Athens was a slave-owning society. It was also home to many foreign residents. Although those foreigners could prosper at Athens, they could not vote. It was almost impossible for a foreigner to become an Athenian citizen. Finally, Athens accorded no political rights to women, even those who were born to Athenian families. Thus, the only people who could participate in the democracy at Athens were the citizens, who were all men who had inherited their citizenship from their fathers. Within a generation of the establishment of the democracy, Athens faced an existential threat. The Greek peninsula was twice invaded by armies from the vast kingdom of Persia to the east. The heartland of Persia is in modern Iran, but its kingdom stretched all the way from the borders of India in the east to modern Turkey in the west, across the Middle East, and as far south as Egypt. A small number of Greek states, including Athens, united to oppose the Persian invasions. Remarkably, the Athenians and their allies, who included Sparta, which had the most powerful land army in Greece at the time, held off two separate Persian invasions, one in 490 and the other in 480 to 479 BC. These conflicts became defining moments in Greek history. The wars were cast as conflicts between East and West, between freedom and autocracy, and between civilization and barbarism. Many of these same oppositions are used in the rhetoric of modern conflicts to this day. Athens paid a heavy price for its role in the wars. Twice it had been occupied by Persian forces, and its temples and shrines were burnt. But it had also been transformed into the biggest naval power in Greece, and in victory it acquired a newfound sense of confidence. And particularly it felt that because of the suffering it had endured, it deserved a leadership role in the Greek world. After the invasions were repelled, Athens formed an alliance with other Greek states to provide protection from further Persian aggression. This was called the Delian League, named after the island of Delos, where the treaty was signed and where it originally had its treasury. Sparta declined to be part of the league. What started out as a federation of allies protecting each other soon turned into a protection racket for the Athenians. The allied states paid Athens tribute for the support of its navy. But very rapidly, Athens began to act in an imperialist manner, using its navy, which was after all partly financed by the allies, to force those allies who wished to leave the alliance to remain. Athens also later moved the treasury to Athens and imposed its own coinage on the league. They even used the income from the tribute paid by league members for the building of lavish temples on the Acropolis of Athens. Thus, the freedom-loving Athenians thought nothing of imposing their will on other independent Greek cities to whom they were allied. Athens' ever-growing power worried the Spartans, and indeed other powers within Greece. And eventually a long war broke out that lasted for most of the final third of the 5th century BC. The war was fought not only on the Greek mainland, but in the islands and as far afield as Sicily. Athens endured many setbacks during the war, including a devastating plague. But it only succumbed to its enemies when Sparta and its allies used Persian funding and naval support to blockade the city, effectively starving it to defeat. Athens spent the first half of the 4th century BC trying to regain its former position of dominance in the Aegean. But it found itself rivaling with both Sparta and Thebes for leadership in Greece. Although it enjoyed some periods of success, its fortunes ebbed and flowed, as indeed did those of its rivals. And in this period, Greece remained in a state of instability as the leadership of Greece was fought over by these rival states, and as Persia shifted away, applied its support to help maintain a kind of balance of power within Greece. Meanwhile, a new power was emerging in the north of Greece, where the kingdom of Macedon enjoyed rich mineral resources and was able to develop innovative military tactics and technologies under its dynamic leadership. Ultimately, all of Greece was to come under its dominion, thanks to that leadership under King Philip II. Philip was a remarkable man who was the father to an even more remarkable son, Alexander the Great. But we leave his story there. Finally,